Well, hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Average Superstar TV. I am your host, Lauren Lepre, and welcome to episode number 99, folks. 99, the big 100 is coming up. And this week we are back. It's the end of the month of April of 2025, and we are back with our month in review. As always, with me is Ross from PXF Films and Camera X. You didn't say anything?
I'm back.
Yeah.
I'm here. I exist. Now, ton of updates on both channels. So, of course, pop over to Planet X Film. Check out Lauren's new interviews here. If you're already here, I'm assuming you found it.
Sweet. And our buddy Dave, who is normally here, has the sniffles. So we'll see him next month. As always, if you like supporting the channel, hit that subscribe button. It's an ultimate compliment, and all comments will be answered as always on YouTube. So, in the month of May, it was kind of crazy because in April we had a lot of deaths. Like we were going through a lot, and I hate saying it, but we got them again this month. I'm literally at the point where I'm wondering if we're just going to do like an in memoriam and pass on. But this person died the very next day. The show the show was over. Like, and the next day, this person died. This one hit me by surprise. To a lot of people that don't watch horror movies, you might not even know who this person is. Myself and Ross do, and so does the horror community. There's a reason I gotta speak of this person. But we lost Laura Park Lincoln from Friday the 13th, Part 7. Had zero idea that she was sick. I got to go out here and say, like, as always, Friday the 13th in the Cycle series is my favorite. The fact that Friday the 13th has been around for 45 years, all the final girls are still with us, but she is the first one to check out. I guess she was battling some sort of cancer. I think it was breast cancer from what I read. I had no idea she was sick. It was just one of those things like the news feed is going, and then I was like, wait, what was that? And I back up, and I'm like, boom. It strikes me personally. I did meet her a couple times. I can't tell you how like much conversation with her, but the simple fact of how close you are once you're in the horror movie business and you're going to conventions, of how many people are affected by a death like this. Mm-hmm. So it was sad. I gotta say, Part 7 is one of my favorite films. I thought she was great in it. I know she ended up doing other films, but for the most part, I know in her last 10 years, like she was teaching acting class. So that sucks. Rest in peace on that one. Ross, I don't know if you have any insight on this one.
Yeah, same type of situation. Didn't know anything about her being sick. Obviously, we follow the same types of feeds. Lauren and I were in the same types of things. So I just saw it kind of blow up across, Instagram and X when I follow it. So saw it there. Like I see a lot of my news these days, but yeah, didn't know anything beyond that.
Right.
Rest in
peace.
Right.
Rest in peace, Laura. All right. So this happened in, I think, the last week. I'm telling you, if I go through a little bit of a life change here, like my entire daily pattern is off, so this could be like days ago for all I know, but I think it's been a week. So we recently just found out that our buddy Joe Biden actually has been suffering from cancer while he was in his administration. Did you hear about this, Ross?
Yeah, I heard about it.
So I got to come straight out here, regardless of what political side you're on. If you're sick, you can't do the job, man. Like you have to get out of there. Like, this is the only other person I compare this to was a president that I liked a lot was Ronald Reagan when he started losing his marbles a little bit. Like, they should have intervened right there. And I understand Joe got out of there before his administration was over, but in reality, they kind of booted him because he lost the debate with Trump the first round, and like the poll shifted. Like, we can't. So my question is, I guess, to the Democratic Party is, like, why wasn't the presidency officially handed over to Harris for those like 5-6 months going into the election. I don't understand this. Like, Ross, what's your immediate thought on this part?
Well, okay, so I mean, here's the thing, right? Like, I have I won't go into too much detail, but I'll just say, like, I have a family member in a similar type of situation. So it's really difficult as people say, like, oh, it just doesn't come out of nowhere. Or they must have, it actually does. Like, and I know for a fact that it actually does from, a family relation. So, and now again, I would assume, the president of the United States has a higher level of, healthcare than anybody in my family would, right? So, I mean, with the screens and whatnot, you'd think something would have came up. I mean, we could just take the cancer issue totally aside. That was the worst debate performance in modern American history. And the signs were already there that it should have been over. Lauren and I could get into what the process should have been, because clearly neither me and him are Harris fans. So it probably should have just been an open convention. And then if Harris wins that convention, sure. So there definitely should have been more planning in process either way. It's definitely sad to see. Hopefully he can recover. I don't know what the recourse is at this case. Neither Laura and I are scientific biology experts by any means. But it shows you further writing on the wall that regardless, there was going to be a decline. And the fact that, the party was telling for expression us that this is the best candidate we have. And then we have this news 3 months into Trump, like barely Trump's 100 days, which me and Lauren are coming to in a bit.
Yes,
the process is broke down and completely failed.
I honestly think, like, we'll get into the Trump 100 first 100 days. That's the last topic, and I'm saying that the last because I know that we'll have a lot to go on that. But
sure,
I think, without going into that, I think in another year it's going to take for the dust to settle what Trump's doing, and I think the country is going to be very good in 2026. And if that's really bad news for Democrats, but like putting this lie on the American people going into the next election, people don't forget. And then again, a lot of people do forget, but I don't know why. If I was on the other side, I always try to put in, like, if this is war, if I try to jump on the other side, here's what I'd be doing to me.
Yeah.
If you'd put Harris in as the president, like in that June or whatever that was when that debate was, I know it was wrong, and she did some things that may have shown she could actually be a good president, I think the Democratic Party would have had a way better shot at facing Trump in November. But
yeah, that's definitely right.
I was just like, right. If that's the person you're gonna ride, make her the president, and so like, hey, look, she did this, and this. You'll vote for her. She knows what she's doing. But yeah, I don't understand sometimes where they come up with this. And if I was, and I always tell everybody over and over, I'm independent right leaning at the moment. That doesn't mean one day I could be independent left leaning. It's just whatever I look at what's going on in the world and what I think is right is where I go. Mm-hmm. But I don't understand the strategy.
And that's the thing. There's no strategy to understand, regardless of, what the donor class and the consultants, the lobbyists tell them, hey, everything's all good. Let's tell our voters it's all good. Like Lauren was just saying, absolute worst way to go. And I always look at it from like a devil's advocate. Let's just say that debate never happened or Biden won, whatever. And this is the first 100 days of Biden 2. And we get this announcement with a sitting president. Like Lauren was saying, how does that work? And then what does he just step down immediately and hand it to Harris? Like Lauren was saying, like, at least we got a relatively working administration there. I don't agree with all the policy, but it's not what the alternative was, which was this. It's clearly not the way to go,
I was just more blown away by this. And then like you find out, and the one thing I would say, the Republicans were attacking always. He's unfit. He's sick. He's unfit. I remember there was these sound bites going where they just snipped of the other side of them saying he's in perfect health. Oh, he's so sharp. He is so like. Well, now you're cutting another lie because like we know what we saw, man. Like there's a big difference of watching somebody live of like, yeah, we've been around older people. We have family members where we see the decline. Like, don't lie, like, or don't say that. You know what I mean? You know, kind of dance around it, be like, yo, he's getting older, but he's still good. Like, don't say he's in perfect health.
It's the media. It's the media. Like, there's a lot of money in there to requires them going and saying that. So, I couldn't agree more. It's definitely not the way to go. I think this brings up a broader discussion of the president needs to be like 35, right? Or is it 45? I think 35. There needs to be an age limit on the other side as well, because so if he's 95, he can do the job. What are you talking about?
I've always said, like, in my eyes, I think a president, it shouldn't be 35. I think it should be 40 to 59. And the reason I come up with that's those 19 years is what I put in is when you're 40, you're half dead. All right. So, you're not too far away from the youth that you just were. Right. So you're still like hanging on or whatever, but you're looking over the mountain a little more towards, well, I'm going to be older. I got to start looking at the retirees and this and that. I think it's a good thing. And I think after 59, it's kind of like you're too far away from the youth of like, you're basically going to look back and say like, well, back in my day, this is how it was. And these kids need to get in line. Like, no, I think you need to be a little bit closer, like a happy medium there. So I come up with 40 to 50. Now, if someone wins at age 59, that's fine because I don't have a problem with that. But I'm just saying, running wise, it's 40 to 59 in Lauren world anyway.
Yeah. No, I mean, I'm right in line with that. I mean, I would come up with the arbitrary 65 because that's retirement age. I mean, that's probably too old, as Lauren was saying, but it's still better than the 88 and 90 that they're giving us now. And you win your second term, you're out of that term before 70. You know, because 70 anything is clearly too old to hold public office.
Well, I look at it like this: when Trump goes, well, unless something horrible happens, he does a nosedive. JD Vance is a very young guy that's going to be running
100%.
And I would hope on the other side that they pick the youth movement too. Like, let's turn the page on the. I just turn the page on that.
But that's across the board. That's not just the presidency. Across the board.
Yep. All right. Next, we're going to flip back to sadness. This one, I didn't know. I know Ross had it, especially where he's from. This had to affect him too. But Thursday nights at 9 p.m. for 11 seasons, we lost Norm, George Witt. That's how you say his last name, Witt. But yeah, good old Norm. Man.
Damn.
That one was just. I always said this Thursday night it was like Cosby Show, 8 o'clock. Cheers at 9 o'clock. 9:30 was Nine Court, and 10 o'clock was Hill Street Blues. There was a time that NBC on Thursday night was just a bulldozer. The other two networks didn't even stand a chance. It was just what a show that was, and what those like 7 characters there. And Norm. He was basically copy and paste every week, but he was just, you didn't need to change him. He was so good.
He was hitting.
Yep. And you're a Boston guy, so I'm sure this one probably.
No, that's wild. Yeah, I've been by that old building, the Cheers building, and dude, it's tough, man. Like, I mean, it's getting tough with these monthlies, like Lauren was saying. It's across the board from TV to movies to. I'm sure Lauren will have wrestling and other things coming up. It's a lot, guys. It's just not like it used to be.
Yeah, I mean, but you were religious with that, right? I mean, you had them in checking Cheers out when you were growing up, right?
Oh yeah, no, it was. I mean, New England is huge out there. It was like like you were saying, one of the biggest things for a long time. So,
and like obviously, I know Ted Danson at that time was. I mean, you'd probably laugh at the numbers he was making compared to like today's numbers, but he was making insane amount of money per episode. I think it was $250K, which is like laughable now, but like back then. So I'm pretty sure this guy was making a lot of money. Like probably that last contract for all of them. I mean, I hope he was living like the way he wanted and comfortably up, because he wasn't in too much after that. I don't know if he was considered like the Sopranos cast, like you're kind of typecast. It's kind of hard for you you walk in, we know who you are, but then again, like you made enough money. Do you care?
Yeah, hell yeah.
Because outside of Cheers, really, like You could say Kelsey Grammer, but he just kept rolling with this. Woody Harrelson's the breakout star of all of Cheers.
Mm-hmm.
That actually got out of that character and was 100.
Yep.
You know, yeah.
Took it into movies. Yep, for sure.
Yeah. All right, so let's flip the things that are freaking dark and messed up in the world, particularly in the United States. So let's jump into the evil Jeffrey Epstein world and the star witness commit suicide. Does anyone really believe that? Like,
can't.
And she even was saying stuff like, if I end up dead, so everybody knows I'm not a suicidal person. And the thing that happened when this hit, like Value Entertainment, who I listen to a lot, and a few other outlets, they're the ones that were talking about this. It was literally like all the big networks. This is all swept under the rug like it never happened. And that scares the crap out of me.
Yeah, 100%.
The power that these people have.
I did see some 1-2 minute blips where they cover it, like as Lauren said it. It's just like, hey, so this one passed away, and then it's just like the next, like they don't spend more than, if they cover it at all, like Lauren said, it's just, hey, so the rest of the daily news, and they kind of gloss right over it. So looking at the way Epstein went out, again, I'm sure there's, with what happened to her, it's obviously horrible stuff. So I don't doubt that doesn't weigh heavy on one's mind, and never mind even going forward publicly, you know what I mean? So there's like additional pressure there. But that being said, it's the Epstein case, so it just has that dark cloud over it to, the way he went out. And
it's just so weird. Like it's not weird. It's like, it's predictable. Like, we know, like you could literally say anybody attached to this case could end up just dead. And then it's like happening, and you're kind of just like, really?
Which is why I'm surprised Maxwell is still around, because she got caught in New Hampshire, where I'm from. So it's interesting. You didn't think she would last long, given the way Jeffrey went,
Yeah, this is this part of the world where it just scares the crap out of me that the real people that run the world have this much power.
A lot of big players, a lot of names, coming out, a lot like that Diddy trial,
Yep, and you know what? It's like, you got that, you got this, the Epstein, you got Diddy. I'm telling you, in the next couple of years, you're going to also see the other Diddy networks of other people that were doing this, and it's just going to keep going. We're living in that dark world now of when you were younger and you were looking at posters on the wall of the rock bands or whoever you were into, and movie posters, and it's like, we know too much, and it's like they're all. I don't want to say they're all ugly, but like you see the ugliness in everything, and
a lot of them are bad. Of course, Weinstein,
Yeah, I don't like it. I just some. This is why I love people like Daniel Day-Lewis, because nobody knows where the guy lives, what his favorite color is. Like, he just comes in and knocks out the movie, and you're just in awe of like his performance. But like, I don't want to know nothing about. I think like Steve Carell's one of them guys too. Like he always says he doesn't go to Hollywood parties because that's where like shit hit the fan. He's just like, hey, thanks for inviting me. He just acts and he goes home. Like it's kind of cool. It's like kind of like I'm a Philly guy, but like when Chase Utley was here for all them years, we used to always joke like he could be a serial killer and we have no idea. Like he's never out anywhere. Like we love him. He plays his game, but we don't know nothing what the guy is doing on his personal time. His wife was heavy into like animal rescue and stuff like that. That was great, but like we didn't like all the basketball. They're all over the place. Like they're spotting this one and that one. But Butler was like, what's that weirdo doing? As long as he's staying out of trouble, but we're always like, there's no spottings of the guy ever.
Yeah. Hell yeah. I know Michael Keaton lives out in Montana with his big ranch, so he's obviously sick of it. Ridley Scott out there in the UK, there's few examples of guys who just stick to their work, but
Yep. And even like Bruce Campbell, a lot of people, he was, I don't know if he's still there, but like he was in a part of Oregon where there was no cell phone reception. So he had to like drive 45 minutes to a spot. because he wanted to be left alone.
Yeah, Medford. I think Rowdy Piper lived there as well.
Yeah. I thought that was like kind of cool. Like, I think Steve Austin is like that. Where he's just so like way off the grid from San Antonio. Like, it's hard for him to get reception, and he doesn't want people showing up at his house. So it's like he's really out there. So, yeah, I think
there's something to it. Those guys got something figured out.
Yeah. And I recently did another show on this, but I have to bring this up here. This was a death that we live in an era. Sometimes if you're busy, sometimes you have no time to freaking mourn. You know, they one thing after another. Before you know, a few weeks went by, and you're like, that person passed on, and I've hardly had time to stop and like process. But we lost one of the most important historic wrestlers of all time, Sabu, mostly known as from ECW. And I was the guy at the ECW arena that dressed up as him. So they like cheer him on to get to witness this guy wrestle probably about 100 times live. To stare at this guy, you could see the scars on his body. Like, guys, that's not prosthetics. Like, this guy gave it his all. I really wish as he aged, he'd dial it back. He didn't. He just did his like last wrestling match a little more than a month ago at age 60. He went all out on that. Didn't need to do it. I wish the guy, if his last match would have been his last match, because I wasn't sold that it really would have been, but he didn't get to enter the Flair Hogan era or Sting, or like where I'm retired and I could go do conventions and make money and, you know, get the respect out of the crowd all the time. Like he now that he's done, did he want to do anything else with his life? He didn't get a chance to do it. And that's just so unbelievably sad. And we still know, like, so everybody knows, it's May 28th. This just happened. He passed away, I think like May 10th. So if you're watching this, like, we still don't know what he passed away from. You know, it could have been from all the beatings over the years, maybe something in his personal life. We don't know, but that's sad. And another thing that really stuck out with me with this guy is all these tributes through these wrestling companies. All they're showing this guy do is him putting people through tables. And after a while, it started bothering me because this guy was a wrestling machine, a wrestling arsenal. And all you're showing is, yeah, that was a big part of his MO. But I wish they, on these tributes, they showed him these inventive moves. I just thought, like, these tributes a little bit did him dirty in my eyes. I wish I had access to cutting a real promo video for the guy, you know?
For sure. No, it's definitely, it's rough. Lauren knows I watch a lot of Dark Side of the Ring. I think it was season 6 that just finished. And they've definitely highlighted ECW. I want to say they had a Sabu episode, but I can't remember. It might have just been the
Sheik.
They did the Sheik.
Which he's in.
Okay, so
he talked about death at the end, which was a little like
prophetic, yeah. So hopefully, I'm guessing they'll probably do one on him next season. Which, you know, it's a great show. It's not always the most spirit raising show because it does focus on a lot of the dark aspects of the industry, but still do a great job with the documentary stuff that they do.
I would love one season of the positive sides of the ring. I'd just like to see like 10 episodes of people that like came out on top and how important this was to me. And like, I want to it's kind of cool to see some of that dirt. But like after a while, you're like I didn't need to know this about this guy. Yeah, you're kind of like.
I definitely had episodes that ruined my night for sure.
Yeah, so I saw a few of them this season, but I don't have Vice, so it's just whenever someone leaks them on YouTube, I'm like, oh, that one's up. You know, I saw Billy Jack Haynes and Ludwig Borga and Cactus Jack and
Hell in a Cell was crazy.
That's the one. They usually give the first episode away for free to try to get you to subscribe after, because so.
Yeah, they put up some fulls on the Vice channel. They actually put, I think there might be two or three up there on there now. So they eventually leak them afterwards. But
God.
man, rest in peace. That's brutal. You think a documentary or something? I know HBO did those couple back in the day. Andre the Giant, and maybe Hogan was it? But yeah, he's owed more treatment.
And also, I'm not saying anything that like Paul Heyman, Fonzie, or RVD hasn't said, but the guy was for what he did, he was so severely underpaid.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he was, for what he gave to the business, he should have been like living in mansions, like multiple mansions, and like I know financially he wasn't like there was like GoFundMe for some of his medical bills a few years ago, and like there's even a GoFundMe for his funeral. Like the it's like that just sucks. Like for all I'm pretty sure. I mean, of course, he was with Vince, but like Mick Foley's got to be well paid for what he did up there, but because Sabu wasn't really there, he never really got his due with the money, and that's very disappointing.
Yeah, it's a tough business for sure.
Yeah, to me, I look at the way he was running was like somebody helping you win the Super Bowl every year at like league minimum. That's the way I look at it. Like he never got the super pay, but he kept doing it anyway because it's what he loved to do. But
absolutely
that freaking sucks. Rest in peace, Sabu. Absolutely. So. All right, so we're going to bring in our last round here. So we're a little bit past 100 days. I don't know, it's like 100 days, 2 weeks or something. But I got to go with a Donnie report card here. So I got more praise than negative, but the negatives is something I really don't like. But I got to jump right out here and say, for me, the border thing was a big issue with me, and he shut that down. Not only did he just get ignored at the inauguration, he went like every president ever has partied and did little. He went right down to his desk and started signing. Like that's awesome. I can't. Sorry, the guy has got an order to him. That's pretty freaking awesome. But the border down, stopped men from playing in women's sports. The whole Doge thing. Let me tell you guys about this Doge thing, and I understand people really don't like Elon, and I don't care. I had a thing about the reason I always was drawn to Trump is he shook up both sides. I've always said for years the Republicans and Dems have been just like, they're out for themselves. They always go in with a little bit of money and they come out millionaires. Like Bill Clinton was worth about $100,000 when he went and became a president. Now, like, I don't even know the number. It's just like, come on, guys. They're making money. They're doing inside trading while all of us break our backs daily. I mean, come on. Like, so the fact that, like, you got, well, so I'll call him Donald Trump, and this was already a billionaire. You got Elon, who's already a trillionaire. They don't need to be doing this. They could really just go do anything they want. They don't. Instead, Donnie becomes the president, and he brings in Elon and everything Elon. To go through the records and expose all this stuff, I was like, this is everything I've ever wanted. I'm sorry. I just wanted to know the dirt that they were doing. And I don't understand, even if you don't like these two, how you could argue with you don't want to hear the truth. If Elon was still with the Democrats and he did this, I think everybody would be doing cartwheels. Like, I don't on that side. Definitely. I don't understand this. Definitely. So Doge was a big thing on that. And I'm sorry, like all these government jobs that are getting cut, if they're not needed, we need that money, folks. It's needed in other areas, including tax cuts. And, give it back to us. Like, I'm sorry, but like we need this. And I understand those are also American jobs with benefit. I get it, but they're, everybody listen, do you want to just keep getting taxed to paid for these people that we don't need? I don't like seeing anybody out of a job, but sorry, like I want more money back in our pockets and stop taking from us. Go look at your paycheck every week, and you sit there and stare like, where the hell's that money going to? The cutting of the Ukraine money. Listen, I am very big on give my tax money going to arm the U.S. forces, I don't care how much you're taking, but you're telling me like now you want to fund another war over there where it's not American people. Listen, when it comes to the Ukraine people and the Russians, I got no beef with either of them. Why is my tax money funding that?
Yep.
That money is needed here. I
100%.
believe we got a lot of homeless people here. I believe we got a lot of mental health issues. I believe we also live in a country where we got to pay for our own damn health care.
Mm-hmm.
Why are we giving it the war?
Exactly.
I'm sorry. And it's like, I'm not, like I said, I have nothing against either side. I realize our media likes to tell us that the Russians have always been the bad guys, but I think that's just for a narrative. I'm sorry. Like, how many people listening to this right now know anybody in Russia that could talk to find out what they really think of us, you know? So
right.
Then the JFK files, I'm a little like, he said he was going to do that. And it's like, I literally feel what he did with the JFK files was he opened the doors to the club to come in. And he's like, oh, you can't come in, but you can kind of look from here.
Look through the windows.
Yeah. Like, yeah, you can look in, but you can't come full in. So I thought I have to give him a couple points and then take a lot off from that one. I was like, because in the end, you just don't know. Like these are the people that gave the okay, and you know you can always say, "Oh, there's more than one shoot." Yeah, we all kind of figured that by watching footage. Like we kind of caught that on our own. Like,
yeah, the shot doesn't even come from the right direction.
Yeah, So I also got to go. Sorry, folks, but I'm just not a person that was into the woke shit. He put by him taking over. That was just. I feel movies are getting a little bit more way back to the way they should be. Mm-hmm. It's going to take a little bit outside of Disney and Star Wars.
Yeah,
but this tariff thing. This is where I have to stand hard with Donnie, folks. The world owes us. We're 36 trillion in a hole. Was this all the administrations have some say in this of making it this way? Yes, without a doubt. But folks, we give so much money to other countries. It's just unbelievable when we need it.
Foreign aid.
We've taken care of the world long enough. It's time for the world to take care of us. And it's not good. We're practically like America. I got to look at this tariff thing. It's like America's buying pizza for other countries, and the American just gets one slice of it, and they get the other 7. This is what people don't understand with this tariff of how uneven it is. And you have to send a guy like this in, a fearless bulldog that commands respect to even this out. And that's what's happening. Have we been a little bit on some shaky waters? Yes, but also it's like the stock market. Like if you're watching every other day, it explodes, it plumbles, it explodes, it plumbles. It's because everybody's just trying to move their chips like on the table of like, which ones, where am I going to win at, man? I don't know what to do here. So I think between that, when this dust settles, this is my opinion. I think next year is going to be one amazing year for America. I just think things are going to be a lot cheaper, and who knows, man? We may even start getting some of these tax cuts, which we've got a bill up right now, which just got approved, like no tax on tips, and literally no matter as long as you make money in America, if you look up the policies here, something fits you. You could benefit from this. It's a lot of papers, man. It was a ridiculous amount of papers, but this bill passes, folks. Everybody gets to eat out of this, and that is a good thing. And everybody's talking about this Hollywood tax of like, oh, he's going too far. Does anybody understand? It's about this is like Detroit. Hollywood could be Detroit with the car manufacturer. Like, oh, it's sad what happened to Detroit. They sent all the jobs over. That's what he's talking about, these Hollywood tax. They're basically saying part of this is California is too high with their rules and their taxes, was making everybody. They say it's like literally cheaper to fly people, including crew, over to another country put them up for a couple months in a hotel, and the tax incentive they get back is better than filming in LA where it should be. So that's where Trump's jumping in, basically saying, like, we're going to go over there when the movie comes here. We want that money back that should have been made here. So that is a giant thing of keeping America first and putting America first. I have to back that, folks. And but I gotta say, two things that bothered me. One was a light, and the other one really bothers me. The light one is the guy kept saying for this entire run campaign, "I'll end the wars, both wars, in 24 hours." And I'm like, well,
nope,
no. But he did put. I say like he got the second base on both of them because like both sides kind of like, oh man, he's here. Like, wait, I'll stop shooting for a little bit, but we're not done. Like I thought he kind of got the second base, but no. Overall, you put your foot in your mouth. You did not stop the war in 24 hours. Yeah, and number one thing that bothers me, and to me, this goes back to a previous topic. We're never going to get this Epstein list. We're never going to, dude. But he said he was going to expose that like within his first week, and we've literally. He said something about like phase 1, and like they're flashing papers up, and there's a bunch of names blocked out. They're like, "Oh, we're protecting the women that were abused." Like, we're not asking for the names of the people that were abused. We wish them well. We want to know the people, the high power people that
flight log.
Yes. And we don't want like the one that one or two. I've only been there twice because maybe you were there for a week. I want the guy that went there 80 times. Like, that's what we want. Mm-hmm. And the fact that we're not going to get that, folks. And I wonder here with the Diddy thing, how much we're really going to hear. Because if you got high power people, I just don't think we're ever going to get like what truly happened there. The only person I think that will expose that would be Diddy himself. If it's like, yo, if you're putting me in jail, here's some names you're gonna want to hear before I go. You know?
Yeah, for sure.
I hope that happens. But the whole idea that what I just said a couple topics ago, how scary these high power people that are doing this Epstein shit.
Yep. Absolutely.
It kills me that because it's everyone you don't want to think that has the power and that they might be doing this probably are.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, no, I expected a lot more. I mean, I wanted a lot more. I can't really say I expected because I didn't really think Pam Bondi and Kash Patel are really the best choices that are really going to do much about that. But like you said, people have brought up other stuff with that some of these other people might leak names. I mean, just covering it real quick, Diddy, a lot of people are saying the prosecution is blowing it, and this is something I bring up to a lot of people. Cosby got out on a technicality, and it was he admitted to doing it. There was no mystery there. He flat out said, "I did this for this reason," and so this is the justice system is not perfect. There's a lot of red tape where people can kind of exploit these loopholes. I'm going to give Donald a D+. I'm not really a big Trump guy, as you guys know. I mean, I live on the border, like Lauren said, so I literally see ICE and border crime every day here in San Diego. So yeah, that's one that's common sense. That's not a red or a blue issue, like Lauren was saying. I mean, got to secure the border. That goes without saying. I don't think there's anyone that thought he was going to end the Russia-Ukraine war in one day, probably including Trump himself. Like Dave and I were saying last time, go ahead and pull the foreign aid out of Israel too. What do they need? They have universal health care over there, like Lauren was saying. So they have all these benefits we don't have, and we got to pay for their proxy war. Hamas makes no sense. I hope there'll be a solution to that Russia debacle. So he signed the bill for JFK, like you said, RFK, and Martin Luther King. Biden had actually released a lot of those files that they're saying was a re-release under this executive order. I haven't really heard anything about Robert Kennedy, and that's definitely second after JFK. I mean, he wasn't president, but by all measures he was going to be, so talk about a presidential candidate stopped in his tracks. And I haven't heard really anything about the Martin Luther King stuff. And a lot of people kind of think all three of those are related. But like Lauren was saying, like with the CIA being the gatekeepers, it's really hard to trust what they're going to release redacted or what they're going to, I've heard a lot of different conflicting things. There's a lot of good JFK experts on YouTube and people who have written books. So I would just tell everybody to check those out. It's always cool when those guys talk. The tariffs, I'm pretty much still where I was at last time, which I really don't see the strategy. I don't disagree with Lauren that he could be the negotiator to get something going, but just talking a big game and then backing down. Recently they came out with the taco nickname from Wall Street. Did you see that, Lauren?
No, I didn't.
Trump always chickens out, taco, you know what I mean? So one of the reporters asked him and Trump was like, never say that to me again. You know what I mean? It was a funny interaction, funny response.
I don't think he's going to win that part. Like, I don't know. I think probably by September, all this tariff thing is going to, wherever it lands is going to land. And I think probably about like March of next year is where you're like, wow, okay. Like, yeah, right now we are all on a boat in the water and like the water's calm. Then the boat might tip over. Now the water's just kind of rough. We're okay. It's just like, now it's calm. Oh my God, the boat just flipped over. Now we're back up. It's just like, because you look at all these countries, like at this point, a lot of them are just like, we need that as like a kid in a toy store, and this is the way it's always been, and now you're finally changing it.
Yeah.
Like the way like Zelensky did in that interview of like first he didn't dress up. I'm sorry, I would have never. I don't know how anyone goes and sits with the president of the United States wearing black, and then you sit with your arms folded. Like what? I don't want to be here. Just give me the money. Like that.
Yeah, exactly.
That rubbed me. So, and it was like, oh, the way he behaved and was saying this, that was a disgrace. Like, no, look, this is why we voted him in, because he's gonna let people know like that. Like, you don't have the leverage. I was like, that. Hell yeah, man. Like,
sure.
Sorry with that, but I get the guy at the moment like a B minus, but it's like, I could easily knock him down to a C. I could easily knock him back up to a B plus. I just got to see how things roll out here and everything. But listen, compared to what we were just going through beforehand, we've had 3 years in a hole. And right now I call it like still like 3.5 with some signs of light. So we just got to see. We just got to
And again, don't misconstrue my statement. Like, I'm not saying that we shouldn't renegotiate all of the international trade treaties. Obviously, that goes without saying to anyone that's been following the economy, like, Lauren and I following these 80s and 90s presidents, like the old, like, hey, the system is just stuck this way, so we continue down a track that doesn't work. Literally makes no sense. So obviously that's not my position. It's just I think it needs like a little bit more organization to the way they're going about it. But like Lauren said, I think we'll probably land. It's just going to have some disruption in the meantime. Like, quite frankly, the tariffs is be pretty low on my list. Like, obviously the economy, but there's just a lot going on. And yeah, I'd rate them pretty low on the Epstein list. I totally agree with protecting the names of the victims. That obviously goes without saying. But like,
no one's asking for that either. Like you and I, like even if we read the names, are we gonna know who they are? Like that we were, you know what I mean? Like they took advantage of people that really have really good families. All that. Like I just want to know, like, what celebrity, what politician, what, who do we need to get off? Like I hate saying the word cancel, but who do we need to like, bring the hammer down and boycott?
Yep, give him the boot. Like, is there 100 names? Is it 200? You know what I mean? So it's like, I don't know. It's tough. They're in a tough position right now, right? Because they kind of overpromised on some of that stuff. So they gotta.
Well, they used both sides. They were using it as an election token, but at the same time, I guarantee those people on those lists probably donate to both campaigns. So it's kind of like,
oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I can't throw my producer under the bus. So we're just gonna. Don't worry, we'll handle this without bringing your name in. I think that's what's,
What I was going to bring up related earlier was like, we mentioned Epstein, Diddy, like obviously Harvey Weinstein, like there's tons of films that are like even some of my favorite movies that are from the Weinstein company. I mean, the guys are still horrible people, but they were producing good movies at the time, and that's exactly what Lauren was referring to. You know, you find out how the sausage was made. At the end of the day, it's not so glorifying.
There's some holes in that Weinstein thing, though. I'm not like saying the guy wasn't evil and sinister and stuff, but I don't like when I'm seeing, you know, like Candace Owens covering a few other people, but like some of them girls that accused him had like text messages and emails for years after saying, I miss you and this and that. I'm like, well I wouldn't say that to someone who did that to me. Like, I kind of look at when it comes to Hollywood, I don't trust anybody. Oh, yeah. So you took him down, but I guarantee there's some blood there on the other side of just like, I did it for some more attention, like, because I don't like the timelines of what I'm saying.
Yeah, I could agree with that. I'm not with the pylon either, too, and it's not justified. I mean, I don't
like the punching down thing. Yeah,
seen it happen to people that didn't deserve it. I mean, you know, the Kevin Spaceys of the world and stuff. You know, again, I used to think the guy was a brilliant actor before I found out what he was like, and you know, now I can't stand him. So it is what it is.
It was one of those things too, though. But when you bring up the space, like, okay, he did what he did. I stand with everybody else, but I remember like that next 48 hours, there was all these reports coming out of like everything evil he was on top of that, and I'm like, you found this all out in 48 hours after, like
where was this stuff before?
Really find all this out, Lars?
Yeah. What do you have, a 40-year career? Like something would have came out. You know what I mean?
To me, that's like you and your spouse, like that your spouse held up everything, like now writing like everything you ever did, and one time you didn't shut the door all the way, or something like.
No, 100%. I'll give you one I think is complete BS. Like Jeremy Piven, when the Me Too thing was going on, like he got piled on, and I haven't seen anything in there that's like, it was just like you said, like consensual relationships,
too, right?
Yep.
And there was even there was one from Morgan Freeman, like 7 women from a movie set, like set people said like, oh yeah, he said inappropriate things to me, and I'm like, these are all from different sets. So what did you all do? Like, did you just all send emails? Hey, like, why didn't you
report it 20 years later?
Like as it went, like why then? You know, like
yeah. No, the Me Too thing definitely had its issues. Yeah, I can say.
Yeah, it came a witch hunt, but I mean, obviously it did good in some areas. I mean, some of that stuff was like okay, but
for sure, yeah.
But it just seemed like as long as you name dropped, you know, you were on ice for a while.
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, even like I think that the Tim Roth dude, the Mr. Big guy from like Sex and the City, like he disappeared because of. I don't even think it was ever proven that he actually did. Maybe he did. I have to look at like if you didn't physically assault anyone and you were upset, like you have to be canceled for that. Because to me, that's like you're basically saying you have to be absolutely perfect at all times. Well, why stop there? Why don't you go around the whole cast and crew and say like you could find something wrong with anything? We do it to ourselves all the time.
100%.
Yeah. So yeah, that's freaking madness. But and again, when I brought up the border stuff, and I bring it up the Doge and the cutting of the Ukraine. I like not want anyone getting anything wrong here. I'm not wishing anything bad on anybody. I'm just saying, if we're all walking down the street and we see a litter of kittens at a dumpster, it's kind of hard just to take them home because you don't have the room for them. You don't have the time. Or if you do. Or you take that litter, and then you walk another block, and there's another litter of cats. It's just too much. I'm sorry, but we got to handle ourselves first. I wish, especially when it comes to Mexico, that the United States could maybe try to help their government to govern their country better. That it's warmer here anyway. Yeah, we want to stay here now. I wish that would happen, but until we get this debt finished. And we have universal health care, I'm sorry, I don't want to help anybody else.
Yeah,
when it comes to like war and stuff, like
foreign intervention. Yeah, the deficit's a mess. Definitely needs trimming. I forgot to reference Doge. I said it last time, even though I wasn't the biggest Elon. You know, I originally was a big Elon fan. Later on in these kind of last campaigns, he got annoying. But totally support the Doge concept. As a matter of fact, I don't think it went far enough. I was all about audit the IRS. I was waiting. Unfortunately, they didn't take the chainsaw to the military budget spending because the Pentagon has failed 7 audits in a row. So they just get a blank check with our money, and we don't have any idea what they're doing with it. Is that CIA black sites? We have no clue. The Space Force, we don't know what they're doing with it. We have no clue. I was hoping for the DEA. I thought Elon could have got along a lot further. And I know they kind of shut him down, and now there's a little bit of a rift. But couldn't have supported that more. Don't keep it going. Do every single department.
Yeah, and they're like, "Oh, you're going to build the walls." Like, if that's what it takes to protect, like, and I between that, like, if you're going to talk about military spending too, like, and SpaceX, all that, like, I think I'm sure they've already been on it, but there should be something so in that freaking sky of ours to blast any asteroid that's ever possibly meteor coming to this Earth that could wipe us out. Like, that's money well spent to me.
Yeah, well, Trump just the Golden Dome, what's he calling it now? Iron Dome, Golden Dome. He just presented that. So that people are saying it's going to be insanely expensive. It might not be done in 3 years like he thinks, but I'm for it.
The thing with Trump, regardless of what he's trying to do, he has about a year and a half to get it all done. Because if the House flips the other way, he's got pushback. Right now, is the dam's broken. He can do whatever he wants.
Yep, for sure.
Senate in the House, so
absolutely.
But with that, well, I'll say that concludes our May edition. So we'll be back in June. Hopefully there won't be any sad deaths, but it's just kind of the way of life. We'll see what happens there. And thank the audience always checking me out. And you hit that subscribe button here. I take that as the greatest compliment. All comments are always answered. Ross, anything you'd like to plug?
Like, sub, share. Brand new interview with Lauren and Lou Temple, Devil's Rejects 31. All the classics. Go check that out. He's on both channels. We should do 1923 next time, season 2, if we get a chance, Lauren.
Yes, I could do a whole show separate on that because
I'm down for that. Check it out if you didn't watch it, guys. Both seasons.
Absolutely. And with that, I thank this audience for taking the time to listen. And I'll say that the party is over. Most importantly, get off the internet.